The EURUSD is bouncing today, but will it last? That's what we're talking about in today's video. We're going to discuss key levels, the latest on the DXY, and toward the end of the video, I'm going to share my thoughts on where I'm looking to potentially short this market over the coming days. All right, so let's get into today's video, and I'm going to explain why I mentioned a potential short entry and not a long here in a second. But if you guys have seen recent videos, you are very aware that we have the market coming off of this high from back here in December of 2023. So the EURUSD broke above this here recently. However, it did fail to hold that as new support. So we've talked about this in recent videos, including the last weekly forecast, where we had the euro come up here, take out that high, and then subsequently close back below it. So the first sign of weakness, and we talked about this last week, but the first sign of weakness here for the EURUSD was this close right here on this candle. Okay, so the reason this was the first sign of weakness is you can see that this area back here was resistance. We had the break above, okay, so close above and consolidation, and then close back below. So this right here kind of gave us a rounded top for the euro. And the second sign of weakness was this close right here last week. So we talked about this as well, again, over the weekly, in the weekly forecast video, where we have the top of this channel right here off of these highs. So you can see we got the breakout above, we got the sweep of that December 2023 high, the close below, and also the close back within this ascending channel. So a lot of times when you do get a fake out like this up here, you do get an extended move in the opposite direction. So for the EURUSD, that could potentially mean a move lower. Now, if you saw the weekly forecast, okay, and I've told VIP members this as well, which by the way, if you want to get in, see the link at the top of this video for 90% off lifetime access. But the area that I'm watching here, the one that I'm eyeing for the euro, is this area up here between 111.10 and 111.40. Now, the reason this is significant goes back to the December 2023 high. Okay, so this right here was a failure from the EURUSD to hold above this high back here. It was also a failure to hold above the top of this channel. So if this market were strong, right, it would have held above here and continued higher up there toward like 112.50, 113, right? But instead, we got the market rotating lower and breaking back below this area. So this was a failed breakout attempt from the euro. And again, most often you do get an extended move in the opposite direction following something like this. It's not a guarantee. It doesn't happen all the time, but in most cases, that's what you get. So with that in mind, guys, what I'm looking for is potentially, okay, a move up here into this area. Now, keep in mind that this Friday, we do have NFP, non-farm payroll, so expect volatility from these markets going into the weekend. But if we do get the market coming up here in this area, all right, let me map this out. This isn't, me projecting exactly where the market's going to go. I don't know where this market's going to go. Nobody does. But if we get an area, move up here into this area, then that could potentially produce a short opportunity here for the euro. And again, this just goes back to the fact that this was a failure to hold above that December 2023 high, which at the moment, I think is very significant for this chart. So that's the plan here for now. Now let's talk about the DXY here, which is coming off of that December 2023 low as well. And we know that this is essentially the inverse of the EURUSD chart, right? So we have this support back here that we've talked about. We got a significant bounce from here. And I want to show you something that happened during yesterday's session that is exactly what we talked about here recently. So if you've seen recent videos, you know that this is an area of resistance for the DXY, for the US dollar index. So this area extends all the way up toward about 102.6 and all the way down here toward 101.92. This is the same level I've had on my chart now for weeks, in fact, months, right here at 101.92. Now look at yesterday's candle. Okay, if I move in here, you'll notice that the high of this candle came in exactly at 101.92. So this weakness that we're seeing here from the dollar should not be a surprise if you've seen recent videos, because again, this is the same exact level I've had on here for months. Okay, so we know that this area through here is going to be resistance for the DXY. We saw it tested during yesterday's session. Now, the key for the US dollar is, even though we're seeing weakness here today, do we get a higher low from this market? Okay, in other words, do we get a higher low here this week, potentially down here toward like 101.13, these closing prices back here, and then something like this, back up there toward that resistance area? If we get a higher low here, then that could potentially signal strength for the USD going forward. So that's what's going to be critical for the DXY to show strength. But like I've said recently too, though, you do have to be careful getting too bullish on the dollar, while it's below this 102 to 102.6 area, just because we know that this is critical resistance here for the USD index. Okay, so bottom line here, I'm looking for the potential for this market to carve a higher low, but really you've got to be careful again getting too bullish on the USD while it's below this area up here. Now, with the euro, I'm going to leave you guys with this. Okay, we know NFP is coming up this week on Friday, and there is a very speculative idea here with regard to where this market might find a top. Now, again, this is a little bit speculative just because it's very, very early, and this is something where we haven't quite seen a channel play out just yet. But if you take a level off of these lows back here, okay, so something like this, you can see that that's a pretty well-worn level off of those lows. And if you draw a parallel level up here off of these two highs, so specifically, we're looking at this low back here. We're looking at these lows along this trend line, even this one through here, and draw a parallel level off of these two highs up in this area. You can see where we do get an upper level up here right around like 111 to 111.20. So this is right there in that box that I'm talking about here with resistance. And if we look at this here as far as timing, okay, this over here comes in right around Friday. Okay, so what I think we could see here for the next few days from the euro and also the DXY for that matter is potentially some ranging price action through here. Okay, and then maybe on Thursday, Friday, maybe even early next week, we get to move up here to tag this area before a rejection from this. Okay, so again, speculative idea for now because this is a very early pattern and we don't really have confirmation yet because we don't have another high up here to really confirm that this is a descending channel. But this does provide a little bit more structure to what we're seeing here from the Euro USD, at least on the intraday charts, to where this area up here, again, it lines up right there in that 111.20 area that is going to be resistance based on that December 2023 high. Subscribe to the channel and click the bell for notifications. Don't forget to join us in VIP, claim your 90% off lifetime access. See the link in the description of this video, or if you're on the website, click on that join VIP link. Trade well out there, and I will talk to you again tomorrow.